Shalom, shalom. This is Kapari, aka Pops, out of GMS Chicago, with another sit down. Before I get started, though, like always, I'm going to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bikar Kodash. To the apostles and elders of GMS out of New York, I want to send them honors because they do well. To the brethren around the world pushing this truth uncut, unfiltered, giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly of the scriptures, correctly breaking down the prophecies and interaction with people and planets and salutations. For hopefully, like the hope to is edifying. For the aquat, the fear of the truth, and this is sincere and chair to keep doing so. Before scorners call for reprobate 2/3 Israelites and 17 other nations in the midst of Jacob's trouble, it's only going to get a whole lot worse. So I'm going to let this lady say what she's saying, then I'm going to come back and put some scriptures on it. But I'm not going to interrupt her at all. And I also want to say that this isn't done for monetary benefit or purposes for me. I make no money off of this. This is all for educational purpose, informative information.
And I found a way to do that. And I, go ahead. Hello, I'm Mary Tally Bowden. Believe it or not, this is my first press conference. I ask you to be nice. I have four very protected boys that know how to access my Twitter account, and they have no filter. So please be nice. It's hard for me to believe that I'm sitting here. About a week and a half ago, my frustrations came to a head and sent an email to my patients. And I'm a small practice. I'm a solo physician. I've been here for 2 years. I started off with the intention of just doing ear, nose, and throat and sleep medicine, and somehow stumbled into COVID. I was just responding to what my patients were asking me to do.
Okay. Ear, nose, throat. Told you you have people out here that this is what they do. Ear, nose, throat. Okay? All those cavities are hooked together. Ear, nose, throat specialist. Okay? And this is what this lady does. And you can see the title and what's happening. Okay? Because she got a medical degree that tells her certain things, and she's not liking what she's hearing and seeing. So I'm going to let it play.
I wanted to get tested because they didn't have access to testing. And I found a way to do that. And I never rationed testing. I provided access, and access was hard to come by. So over the span of the pandemic, I've been open 7 days a week. I've tested over 80,000 people, and I have treated about 2,000 people. I'm a good doctor. I fight for my patients. I treat my patients the way I would want myself treated. I've been on the other end of the patient-physician relationship. As a mom of 4 boys, I recently spent 5 years as a patient, 5 straight years of pregnancy. So I know what it's like. And when I opened this practice, my intention was to treat people the way I would want to be treated as a patient, and to treat people the way I would treat a loved one. And that is how I have treated my patients during COVID. So it was quite a surprise to me last Friday when I got a text message from the Houston Chronicle telling me that my hospital privileges had been suspended. It's not the way things like this are normally handled. I have very loose ties to Methodist. I only have privileges there in case I have a patient that is so sick that they need to be hospitalized. And I'm proud to say that because of my early and aggressive treatment for patients with COVID, I have not needed to admit anybody to Methodist. So I'm not quite sure why I became their target, although I think based on their history of being the first hospital in the country to mandate vaccines for their employees, that they are using me as an example based on what they have read, which I have not sent to them, but I've sent to my patients and I have vocalized on Twitter. But since when is that a reason to take away somebody's hospital privileges, try to take away their license? I'm not saying Methodist is doing that, but there are groups that are targeting doctors like myself that are just simply trying to speak about what they are seeing. And I don't have research papers to back what I'm doing personally. I have tons of data. I have tons of clinical experience. And when I speak to my patients about what is going on, it's based on my clinical experience. And that should be good enough. And I'm not sure in this day and age, apparently it's not. It's astounding to me as a physician.
Okay. If you all cannot hear this in her voice, then, like I said, it's the blind leading the blind. It's like, I'll give you a perfect example. Example of me saying something along the lines of this tarantula venom that they pushing. Exactly the same thing. The lady can't come flat out and say what she wants to say, so she's trying to hit it on the edges and hoping that you all can grasp what she's trying to say. And for somebody that have now had to learn how to skirt their conversation around the edges because of this algorithm that is out here, okay, it's because of the fact that these people are doing this, okay? And now, this is where we at. Hold on, I'm going to go get a scripture. I'll be back. Okay, this is Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in their power of their hand. Okay? They're coming up with all these things, these what's the word I'm looking for? They're coming up with all these uh, um, misconstrued scenarios that isn't um, helpful on no level. And I'm not justifying her medical practice, okay? Because, like I said, she had to learn in a deficit vacuum per se, okay? Because all the, I want to say, is it herbalists and things of this nature, all of the, is it holistic or whatever, basically all the practice of medicine that used to be natural was done away with and bought out, um, and put and medical technology as they know it now is all about treating symptoms as opposed to coming up with actual cures for the most part. But so even though she skirts around the edges of what they want, okay, which is creating a problem because of the fact that they're not being given the opportunity to make manifest, dire scenarios in the to make dire scenarios in the midst of the scenario that they are perpetrating. So, with that being the case, like she said, her clinical studies, key words, clinical studies, what she observed and what technology she does have access to, she has figured out how to keep it to the point where it doesn't get serious. But that isn't what they want. Okay, and for the natural healers that are out there, I'm sure they've noticed that that, like I said, there's nothing more than uh, if you look at what COVID is and you're going, like I said, it's 19, so there's 18 other versions before that. So if you go and look at it, there's ways that you can kind of starve it off per se, and that's what she's saying, you know, because it was a thing that Senator Paul Rand, I believe, is bringing Fucci up on uh, uh, charges with, or basically calling them out in a court per se on what's going on and what funding he approved and what standard of practice of research he pushed to do something that what's the word I'm looking for, weaponized. But that's what this Edomite does. He weaponizes everything. He weaponizes everything. So I'm gonna let this go back to this now and this. But like I said, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
I'm not entitled to my medical opinion.
Hold on. And sorry for this. I should have actually turned this off earlier. This is probably going to be a little cleaner now.
I think this is hopefully this is not how I wanted to be. I would like to go back to my clinic and stop. I do not want to be in the media, and I do not appreciate the way Methodists handled this. I'm simply trying to help my patients.
So, doctor, why hold a press conference?
Because my name is being vilified. I have people leaving fake reviews on my website, all over the media. I have people calling me a sister of the devil and misconstruing my intentions. So I want to set the record straight. I don't feel like I'm getting fair coverage of my side of the story.
Dr. Bowden, I guess the issue from a Methodist standpoint, some of the people online, is that you're using ivermectin, which has not been proven effective by the FDA against treatment of COVID-19. I guess kind of explain to us why you have used it to treat patients.
Well, when I did a survey of all the patients that I've treated with monoclonal antibodies, and I asked them what medications they're taking, 30% of them said they are taking ivermectin, which is a large number of people. I don't know how ivermectin has become a dirty word. It's a safe medication, and I would never give anything to anybody that I thought was going to hurt them. And I did deep research into whether or not I thought it was going to hurt them. So I stand by ivermectin. I have plenty of...
Okay, and you see what I'm saying? So, like I said, I don't approve of her practice. But what she's saying is there's something out there that she's been using that has been clearing it up and keeping it from going into hospitalization requirements. Okay? And her full clinic services, hospital services are being suspended. So what is it saying? She said that she's got very limited access to the hospital. They only want to see her patients if they require to be hospitalized.
People have taken it, and no one has had a serious reaction from ivermectin. And Again, it's clinical experience.
So the 30% of patients that you surveyed, are they the ones that you treated with ivermectin or others?
No, the 30% of the patients that I've treated with monoclonal antibodies all told me they were taking ivermectin at the same time.
Dr. Lisa, that's for you.
Continue doing what I'm doing.
Are you considering any kind of legal action against Methodist at this point?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Have you had any conversations with anybody at Methodist directly either?
No.
So all of this has happened through social media or what you've
Well,
read?
they have sent me official letters, but there have been no conversations.
Do you plan to have any?
I'll have to ask a lawyer. I don't know. I don't know. Well, Methodist has touted itself as the example that the rest of the country should follow in terms of vaccines. But why are they not sharing with us more data? Why do we not know how many breakthrough cases they have? Why do we not know how many patients who have been vaccinated have had side effects? Why do we not know a firm number of the patients in the hospital who are vaccinated? So if they want to be the leaders in COVID, then they need to share all the data. They also need to perhaps not vilify doctors who are challenging what the vaccine movement.
I have a question. So the people that came, you said you treated people for COVID, am I right? Okay, so that treatment ever included the vaccine, or it was just?
I tried to get the vaccine to my clinic when
Okay.
it first came out, and I could not get it because I was not a hospital. I basically felt like I was too small to be worthy, so I just gave up. So no, I don't distribute the vaccine.
So I do take that. You wanted to give the vaccine out.
Yes, I was on board with it. I tried to get it, and they
So
were
you
just
have-
giving it out to the hospitals.
You
And I
have
gave
nothing
up.
against the vaccine.
Nothing against the vaccine. I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all for the vaccine, but I have nothing against it. There's certainly an important tool against this pandemic.
Okay, that's why I'm gonna break it off at, because of the fact that, like I said, she says that she has nothing against it, but at the same time, she's finding that she's been able to figure out what to do without that, because she had to do what she was doing without it, because she wasn't large enough to get it. In a nutshell. Okay, now I can let this finish playing through, but she says but an actual doctor can't, so she resigns after being suspended. So she's been suspended, so now she's resigning from the hospital. Okay? Even though she's saying that she doesn't have anything against it. And that might be her lawyer speaking, because of the fact, her lawyer's advice. Say nothing against the scenario in the process of, even though she doesn't have to use what the country is pushing, per se. So, hey, y'all, you know what? I'm going to leave it there with that, because of the fact that, like I said, I think that's enough for you to be able to get the gist of what is being said here. So, with that, I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, and Kakwadash. To the apostles and elders, I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, and Kakwadash. To the apostles and elders of GMS out of New York, I want to send double honors, because they do rule well. For the brethren around the world pushing this truth uncut, unfiltered, give you the good, the bad, and the ugly of the scriptures, correctly breaking them down, declaring war on the planet, I send salutations. Hope we elect, hope that's edifying. Aqua, few and true that's listening to sincerity, charity, keep doing so. Scorn and scoff for reprobate 2/3 Israelites that's going to follow in this man's footsteps, no matter what it is that he does. 17 other nations, you're in the midst of Jacob's trouble, and it's going to get a whole lot worse. So as you see the title, medical doctors can't do what it is that they went to school, but a computer conglomerate, okay, is the one that's calling the shots, and he's talking about germ games. Okay, to the sincere Israelites, Shabbat Shalom, and to the 2/3 Abba Babal and 17 other nations.